12 says, there is a way that seems right unto a man. There is a way that seems right unto a man. But that way, unfortunately, does not lead him to the place or the path where he or she required or intended or desired to be. I'm saying this because I now want to get into the business of dating and marriage. Dating, it is basically that moment of, I can call it, where you develop a desire of attraction to the other person. And when you make a proposal, and whether that proposal is accepted or rejected, when the proposal is accepted, then the business, if the proposal is rejected, then what happens is that the business of, and so it's important for us to know this, that dating is now the business of trying to look into this common agenda, whereby you want to move this relationship from the phase of seeing each other, getting attracted to each other. You're raising it to another level whereby you want to begin having serious business. If you do not do that, it is going to affect you. Now, where do we go wrong as young people? Where do we go wrong? How do we start dating, by the way? What are the specific things that I can be able to watch out and look at, and that can be able to lead me? And remember, we're talking about dating and marriage. So we cannot marry before we start dating. And we cannot, if we marry, then we begin dating, we have started the upside down business. It is not acceptable. The first order of business is you begin by dating. What is dating? Dating is basically the business of identifying somebody. Allow me to remind you, I have not said identifying a life partner, but I've said this is the business of identifying somebody whom you intend, after the maturity of your dating, to spend life partnership together. Before that, you need to be very, very careful. Some young people make mistakes because of maybe they have gotten late. They have seen their colleagues have gotten into marriage and they want to rush and they want to get in that business, and they listen to me. Dating is the foundation. It is basically what is going to determine your tomorrow. Don't date somebody on the basis of the following things. Number one, don't date a woman, don't date a man on the size of his wallet or her wallet. Don't. You will be making a terrible mistake. However, I am not negating the size of the wallet, because the size of the wallet will help us meet other needs for tomorrow. But some people think that the size of the wallet can determine how beautiful, how handsome, how obedient this particular individual can be. You will be mistaken. Two, dating should not be measured by the skin color. Whereas the skin color is so important because there are people. All right. I just want to use this with a lot of caution and be very careful when I'm putting this observation that the skin color is so important. As some of us like me, when I was in my youth, I could look myself into the mirror and ask myself a question: God, where did you go wrong? I mean, you just removed me from the oven before I was fully baked to become a person that can be attracted. This little color of brownness has been brought out of hard work, taking fruits and drinking a lot of water and doing a lot of exercise and so many other things that have made me become somebody that I can be admired by somebody. But the skin color, in as much as it's so important, if you love black, please go for black. If you love white or red, please go for red. That is so important. Don't mix yourself. Don't confuse yourself. And let me put this question that not all people who are beautiful can not be trusted. Even those who are not beautiful can also fail the exam of trust. I will explain that in the future. Having said that, when you begin dating, please consider point number 3, the height of the individual that you want to relate with. So that you don't make a mistake, because in marriage, it's a one lifetime relationship. So when you are dating, if you are 6 feet or 7 feet, please don't date a 2 feet individual. Whether that individual has a big wallet or drives a car, or, there's most machines these days. I have seen machines where you don't have to reach to the pedals down there. All the gadgets are here. You press, you tell it to drive, it drives. And then you have something that can enable you move away from the Prado and disembark from your vehicle. But when you're going to introduce this person to the public and people will ask, and you are a Sudanese of 6.3 feet tall, and you're dating a lady of 3 feet, twice your size. Honestly speaking, hata kama ni kupatiana keki, you'll have to kneel down in order for that person to get to the level ndio akupatie keki. I mean, you need to be very careful on the issue of the height, so that you don't have to create a huge disparity. It's going to affect you. Dating also, when you're dating, consider this: the age difference. The age difference. This is very important. Most people make mistakes. Unaona msichana ako brown, unaona kijana kwa sababu because of the way amejitengeneza vizuri, he's made himself so nicely, that you fall into that person, and then with the supersonic Ferrari speed, the next minute after dating, next week umefanya formalization, and then after that you have announced to the pastor, and then you have announced to the church, and after that then you have gotten married. Wait until the true nature of life begins to settle down. Akipata mtoto mmoja, then you look at her vis-a-vis the other person, then you begin having issues. Then you begin changing. Then you begin making mistakes. I don't know. I don't know what happened to me. I made a mistake. You did not make a mistake. You chose yourself. Nobody guided you to choose that person. You made a decision. And that is why the Bible says there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but that way, if it is not well checked, will lead into a disaster, into a destruction. So it's important to look at the age difference. With some of the chemicals that people use and some of the drugs that that people use. And I'm using this carefully to not lean towards only the ladies, but I'm also trying to ensure that I place a balance. That there are certain drugs that men will use to make them young. There are certain drugs that ladies will use that will make them look young, though they have beaten, the mileage has run. The vehicle, the moment it goes through the first service, the second service, it begins to have issues with the shocks. It begins to have issues with the gearbox. It begins to have issues. And there is nothing terrible like when you get married to a woman and allow me use this without any fear of contradiction. And the behind was so attractive. That is what attracted you. Uliangalia nyuma bila kuangalia bonnet. The vehicle is not the boot. The vehicle is more of the engine than the boot. But majority of us will look at the boot, angalie, hey, this is so nice. As if inaenda kukubeba. So when now the boot begins, because the boot is carried by the shocks, when the boot is not able to balance and the engine is not moving, then you begin having issues. Then you begin now changing minds. Then you begin accusing the other person. Oh, you made this, you made this. It is you who forced me. Nobody forced you. It is the decision that you made. Now, I may not exhaust all in terms of looking at the factors that we need to consider in dating. Finally, the most important of all the factors, even though we do not have the machine to measure, it is one's spirituality. How do you know that this is somebody that I can be able to live my life with? The Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. That this individual fear God. If this woman fears God, hata kama mtalala njaa, hata kama hana pesa, hata kama hana uwezo, even if you are financially down, this person will help you to rise up. If the man you're dating fears God, the following characteristics will display themselves. 1, honesty. 2, love for church programs. 3, he or she is at the forefront in running the youth programs in the church. Not somebody who is a visitor in the youth ministry. Not somebody who comes to the youth ministry as a visitor. But this is somebody who knows that I am a youth. I'm entitled to this. I cannot see the department that I am in for now think while I am still there. We've talked about honesty. We've talked about discipline. We've talked about commitment. Those are the most important things that you need to see in the individual that you want to date. So don't run. Don't run, brothers and sisters, when you have seen somebody. Don't think because you have seen this person in your workplace, this person is going to become a director. No. Things change. Things change. Do not be persuaded by the things that person has acquired. I have seen in my years, and then Pastor Paul will also agree with me, in our years, we have seen where men have frustrated the ladies, and we have seen where ladies have frustrated the men because aliangalia gari and got attracted to the vehicle. And then little did this person know that he guy require a loan, and then the bank repossesses the vehicle, and then you begin asking yourself what happened. And so I want to allow you time, about a few minutes to ask questions. I have not exhausted about marriage. I have only talked about dating. Allow me close by saying this. in dating, please don't rush. The question that will be, Pastor, how many ladies will I date before I settle down on one? Pastor, how many men will I date before I settle on one? That's a very difficult question for me to answer. But I will say this. In dating, be very careful. Be very careful in dating so that you don't make a mistake, because immediately after dating, we are moving to second floor. Dating is in first floor. We're moving to second floor. And as we move to second floor, we will be able to start now climbing the ladder, because in marriage, there are no lifts. Marriage has no lift. Marriage has a staircase. You grow up using the staircase, not using the lift. And therefore, how long should I take is another question that one will ask. How long should I take? It is not easy to measure. But they say those who have written counsels on marriage, they say a minimum, before you make a decision, if you're in a hurry, then make a decision after 6 months have elapsed. Because after 6 months, you have already known the character of this particular individual. But don't date a lady within 2 months and then you have announced to the church, I want to marry, this is my fiance. No. This is somebody that I know and I want to relate with, and this is a friend of mine. Then the question will be, Pastor, should I make it public? Can I announce to everybody that I'm dating so and so? The answer to the question, it depends. However, I will only say this: as you announce, be very, very careful. Otherwise, you will spoil your image and your name. Because you'll be seen as a marketer. You'll be seen as a hawker. So that you don't jump from this relationship to another relationship. You don't jump from this person to another person, jump from this person to another person. No. It is not there. Please take time. And remember, when dating, people tend to sweeten the other person. They tend to use nice words. In fact, you can be rained on and your girlfriend is still waiting for you, and you're waiting for your girlfriend, and you cannot even ask questions. Why? But wait until when you get married. And that's when you will be able to know, oh boy, I made a terrible mistake. So be very careful and extra careful. Don't date people as you change them. They are not clothes. Remember, when you hurt somebody on an illegitimate concern, God will not be happy with you. Let it be a legitimate concern. That legitimate concern should be something that cannot be repaired. Finally, as you date, don't give promises. Don't give promises. Some people promise heaven while they are still on earth. Some people promise things that they cannot be able to achieve. Nitakununulia nyumba Karen. And you are living in a rented house. Why should you give promises like that and you're living in a rented house? You don't even have a job, but you want to promise that I have a dream. I saw in my dream living in Karen. Hey, my friend, brothers and sisters, living in Karen is a hard work. You have to make a decision to engage your brain in terms of getting the resources that can warrant you move from where you are to Karen. But these promises, empty promises, I'll buy you a car that you will use. Then ladies get to be persuaded. Amen. Don't be persuaded by that. When you're dating, don't give promises. And ladies, listen to me. Do not key in a commitment based on the promises that have not been actualized. The day you will get this person alikuwa na kuingisha box, na umeingia box, and then baada ya kuingia box, then you start asking, so what happened to the phone that you said you were buying me a Samsung, the latest series for my birthday? What is it? Atakwambia, you know, I expected some money from my business and it's not working. What will you do? And you have a child and you have to. Na kuna wengine wanapatanga watoto watatu atago. Don't ever make that mistake. So now I want to allow Pastor to take us through receiving the questions. Then from there we will be able to respond. Have any questions? Can we allow like 5 questions for the night and then we close it? Pastor Paul? We have only talked about dating, and then marriage, we will look for time for it. It is also an expounded item. We can't finish. We have not even exhausted dating. But we want to say this as I close in, that in dating, be very careful. Pastor Paul, can you receive the question?
Thank you so much, Pastor, for taking us through this. And we will just indicate by raising up our hands. We may not really say how many questions we will handle, but you will raise up your hand and then shoot your question briefly so that we'll be able to handle your questions. And I want to say this is just by the beginning. This topic is broad, it is wide, it is big. We may not exhaust it right now, but we will continue to pursue this topic. Those of you who may not be able to raise up your hands, you can ask your questions via the chat box, and the leaders who are here will be picking those questions and share them with us. Anna, I can see your hand kindly. Be the first one to pick it up.
Thank you. I hope everyone is good and fine. Some of us run for the engine, run for the boot before checking the engine, and maybe the engine might be loose. So I want to ask, if someone is not sexually active as you are in the dating, how do you determine if the engine is loose and you are dating, so that you don't fall into trap for checking the boot and leaving the engine? Kindly.
Fine. Pastor, you can take it up. Sorry?
Can we have the secretary to pick 5, then we can respond?
Who is doing Maurice, kindly pick up those questions. Let us have 5 and then Pastor will be able to respond to them. All right. The second person, Anne, you can lower your hand so that we can pick another person. If we are not able to identify you or see you, please just unmute and ask your question. Anna, can you put your hand down now? Any other person? Nelson and Nimrod. Let's begin with Nelson.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Nelson. I first want to appreciate you for I have learned a lot. Even though there's a time difference between Kenya and USA, but I've learned a lot. So my question goes, at times you are dating somebody, but this person is jobless, and you sympathize with him. Should you start taking the responsibility, like providing for him, or there are some things you should not do during this time of dating? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor. Pick it up. There was another person, kindly.
Thank you for this opportunity. Mine is a quick question. Should dating be private?
Thank you. Thank you so much. The fourth person.
All right. Kindly, Nelson, mute your mic. Okay, thank you. There are some questions that have been sent via the chat box.
All right.
I'll read them. Is it bad or good to be sexually active while dating? That is one question. There's another one saying that can one date more than one person since it's not that serious? And how long should one take during the dating time? And then there's a final question that we'll have to end with is, when dating, are we supposed to consider the religion? I think that was answered when Pastor said the spirituality, so we'll skip that question. There was one saying that when should one start dating? So from the chat box, we'll take 3 questions. Question 1, when should one start dating? Question 2, is it bad or good to be sexually active while dating? And question 3 is, can one date more than one person since it's not too serious? And how long can one take during the dating time? Those are 3 questions we'll take from the chat box, plus Nimrod's question, Nelson, and Anna. I think those are 6, and we'll end there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just quickly to respond to the questions. These questions are so important and very, very important questions. Number 1, when Anne mentioned about the boat and the engine, which is also tied to the question, how should we know that one is sexually active during dating? Please be very, very careful. When you sleep with a man or when you sleep with a woman, in the marriage vows. Now let me say this without fear of contradiction. Your relationship with God has come to immediate end. To restore it, you have to go through baptism. That is when you begin a new relationship with God. Do not have sex with anybody before you exchange your marriage vows. Because when you have sex with somebody before exchanging your marriage vows, that person, the heavens have recorded, this is your wife. This is your husband. The temptations are there. Please, and I'll say this, during dating, avoid secluded environments. Avoid environments that can put you into temptations. Avoid environments that can lead you into having situations that will annoy God, that will affect your spiritual growth and Christianity. The boat engine scenario, please. We can be attracted by the model of the vehicle, but let us not open the boat to check on the boat. Let us not open the engine to check on the engine. We will be making a terrible mistake. So just not looking at the outward attraction, but just trying to limit yourselves to the environments that will affect you as a young person. Because the devil is not your contemporary, and remember the devil existed even before Adam. And if he was able to bring down Adam and Eve, what about you? And for how long has the devil lived? For over 1 million years. So you think he has not seen, if he was able to bring down Samson, what about me? What about you? Be very, very careful. Joseph in Genesis chapter 39 gives us a perfect example of the boat engine scenario, whereby Joseph had to run away and to avoid such kind of temptations, because he knew how will I do such a great sin of wickedness and sin against my God. So don't have sex with anybody just to measure up how many rounds and I end. No. Please ask God, is this person fit in your kingdom? If If Jesus comes today, can we be able to go to heaven with this particular individual? Marriage. And so the boat engine scenario, I was trying to, ukiangalia kivaa longi, you look at him, there is a projection in front here. You will think that is going to function, but it might have issues. The ladies will look at the behind, and then you think that is what we require in our bed. It is going to be something very different. So let us avoid the boat engine scenarios. And should dating be made public? I'll answer this carefully by being so cautious. It depends on the environment. It depends on the situation. It depends on your commitment. How committed are you? The moment you move after a few months, you will have learned this particular individual. But remember, during dating, during dating, people please the other. How I wish that during dating you can disagree, and serious disagreement. That will give you the true nature of that individual that you are dating. But during dating, people tend to please the other person. What do you want to eat? Ladies will also offer to buy you lunch, to buy you something. The man will always offer to do this A, B, C, D for you, but they do not disagree. Before you just move into another relationship, this ties itself to another question that was asked. How many should I date? Please be very careful. Don't break somebody's heart. Don't break somebody's heart. It's good for us to disagree and amend the disagreement. But if a lady has spotted you and you have given all to the lady, you have given all to the man, and then all of a sudden the man spots you hugging and kissing with another man, or the lady spots you having that you are caressing another woman, you are hurting that person, and you may never be forgiven. So do not jump from one dating relationship to another. Can we make it public? Not prematurely. Please don't just start announcing that I have known Jane, I have known Paul, I have known Edwin, I have known Eric, I have known Douglas within the few weeks, and then you want to announce to everybody, and you have not known Emily. The day you will know Emily, how emotional Emily can be, it will hurt you. Please take your time, study that person before you go public. When you go public, you have made a decision that this is now the road that I want to travel in until when Jesus will come. The other questions were? I've just forgotten. Can somebody remind me?
Okay. The next question was, can one date for more than one person? Can one date more than one person? And how long should the dating be?
Dating more than one person, don't date when you're in another relationship. Please. Let that relationship end, and let it end with a lot of maturity, so that you don't break somebody's heart. Before you jump into another, please be very careful. You know, coming from Kiserian to town, there are so many vehicles. Some vehicles stall on the road. Some vehicles experience problems on the road. Some drivers alike. Be very careful on your next move. Don't jump into another relationship when you're still dating another person. Finish with one. Even it is common sense. Those of us who own cars, hatuwezi enda kwa garage alafu gari inaguzwa na mechanic wote. Some people will spoil that particular vehicle. Wataingia kwa engine, watakoroga engine, and the vehicle will start overheating. So don't make a mistake of moving to another relationship before you have ended this relationship. And if you're in a relationship, if you're dating, please ensure your closest friend pastor knows that you guys are dating. Then he can be able to advise you. Not your closest friend. Your closest friend can also take away your investment. So be very careful. Let your pastor get to know that you're dating so and so, so that at least he can be able to advise you on how you're moving as you get along. You can avoid dating so many ladies. It is not a try and error business. Let us not make it a try and error business. Let us make it a mature Christian relationship. The question that was asked, can I date a non-Adventist? It's at your... I was talking to a certain family, and the lady was brought up in the Adventist faith, and when she was brought up in the Adventist faith, she got married to a Catholic, and she ended up converting into Catholicism, left the faith of Adventism and went to the Catholic faith, just because to please the husband. You see, the risk, you'll end up missing the most important thing. We don't do things in a reverse. We want to do things progressively. So don't ever date. If you date a Muslim, please don't date so that you can convert that Muslim. Don't date that person because this is an Adventist. Don't date a Sunday person and you're an Adventist. Forget about it. In God's vineyard. Let me tell you, friends, don't narrow yourself to Utawala or to Imaradaima. In God's vineyard, there are many. Move. The vineyard is large. Come to Ngong, come to Mihango, come to Kisi, come to Eldoret. You will find an Adventist committed lady that you can marry. But don't say, Sijaona mo Adventist, so I didn't see a good man so that I can marry. I didn't see a good man who can marry me. I went to remember when the serpent was speaking to Eve, Eve did not see did not see Lucifer or Satan inside the serpent. She only saw the serpent speaking to her. And I explained that when I spoke to you. Be very careful on what to do. Don't be in a multiple relationship, just be in one relationship. Let it mature. And if it's committed in prayers, it will basically mature. Another question then as we wind up.
Okay, the next question is, when should someone start dating, and during dating, should one provide for the other partner?
Yeah, it is the same as I've also remembered the gentleman who said the time variations. He spoke about what about if I meet a partner who is not financially able? Should I help that person during dating? My answer to this question will be yes. Despite the fact that if your relationship may not end up in marriage, but at least you've done something that you will always remember. That I gave her the job, and though she went to another relationship and she got married, I did my best. And God is my witness. As a honest person, I really assisted this particular individual. If you can assist, please assist. Don't use dating as a punishment to punish the other person. Don't use the dating as a way of mistreating the other person. If you are able to help, please help. And you can help, and dating is failed because of some reasons, and that is just a moment. I hold on, Kidogo. I answer to this call.
I can amnipea chance niulize one question.
Yes, Anna, you can type your question in the chat box, but I think time is so much spent.
I'm sorry because it was a disturbing call from the elders. So now, just help somebody as a Christian, as a true and honest Christian, because you want to do it even if it doesn't work out. That's the best thing that you can do. Don't help somebody so that you can use that person. You can use that person so that you can achieve your ulterior motive. Don't do that. Christians don't do that. Christians will help somebody, whether at the end of the day you will succeed or not, wewe utamsaidia katika hali zote. I can give you my perfect example. When I was a youth, high school, I came to Nairobi, and I'll illustration. Then I went to college at Roysambu, and I met a lady. Unfortunately, the lady was not an Adventist, and because I did not see Lucifer inside the snake, I fell in her. So one day I went to visit her. I found her with another man in their home. I was disappointed. She was not an Adventist. That brought something to me, and I just left that individual. That is when I came, I settled, I took time. When one dating breaks, please don't rush into another one. Take time. After the first dating failed with this lady, I took about 3-4 months to reconstruct myself, and then that is the time I was able to say, okay, God, now let me move to another relationship. When I approached Helen, she told me I'll give you an answer tomorrow or next week, and then I kept on praying, and she gave me an answer, and we started now dating. We started organizing ourselves. We started trying to see how best we can be able to do and plan for things before we decided to exchange our marriage vows. I was getting into great risk by dating a non-Adventist, and God was able to help me know that I am risking. Don't ever risk. And if when it actually didn't work, I took time, and then I healed. After healing, that's when I moved to another one. Should we make it public? I said the answer to that is, please, once you have measured that it is moving to the best line, and now we can now approach the parents, then you begin making it public. And don't make it public before you agree. You will end up hurting the other person. Don't make it public. There are people who like their privacy. There are people who like to do things in a slow manner and in a private way, and the others who like to show everybody, oh, I'm the one who owns this BMW. I'm the one who rides this CX-5, the latest model. Please, just take your time, let the other person agree. Once that the other person agree, then begin the journey. The question is, where do we begin from? And the first point where you begin from is to approach your pastor, and the pastor will guide you and will help you on the next move as you go up the ladder. The last question, then I can ask pastor to give comment, and then we will close it for today.
Okay, there was one last question that was remaining, is that when should one start dating?
That's a very important. You can't date when you are in high school. You can't date when you are in college. If you do that, you don't have the financial manpower to sustain your family and your marriage. Please don't make that mistake. Again, don't date when you're too late because of the variations. In terms of reasoning, if you date somebody who is about 15 years older than you, if it is a man, you're dating your uncle. because your uncle is 15 years or 16 years older than you. If it is a woman, you are dating your aunt. So date somebody whom age variation does not go beyond 5 years. At least, and at most, at least age mate, and at most, let it not go beyond 5 years. Even in age mate, you are also trying to risk. Ladies, don't date a man who is your age mate. Men, don't marry a woman who is your age mate. Because about the depreciation rate is so high. It's so high. Men take long to depreciate, but ladies take a shorter time to depreciate. And I hope you're getting me when I'm talking about depreciation. Please, when you're dating, be very careful on the time variations. That's why we talked about the age factor. Let that person be very honest. And men, listen. Don't date a woman by asking her the first question, how old are you? Please just ask her. This evening, can we go to Java and have a drink? We can have something. We can buy something. You go to Java and you say, well, I like you. I like your smile. I like the way you talk. I like your English. I like, by the way, where do you work? How is work? How is job? How was today? I mean, those are the things that you begin with. But don't just look at the woman and ask her, hey, Pauline, how old are you? Because I'm looking for somebody to marry. I mean, Pauline will look at you, you're a marketer. So be very careful on how you approach that particular individual. I've seen Anne's hand. Anne, can we allow you first? Then Pastor summarizes everything and then we close it for the evening. Anna, I saw your hand again several times. All right. It's okay, Pastor. Come on board, and then we summarize everything. You can add now to the questions that I have responded to. Then you give us directions on how we conclude the meeting for this evening.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for the lessons and the questions that you've been able to respond to. For the interest of time, because time is spent, allow me to just sum up everything by saying that, number one, relationships are a mystery, and marriage is also a mystery. And therefore, when we enter into this business, because it does not belong to us, the author of relationships is God. The author of marriage is God. If you want to know how best you can go about the relationships and marriage, please go to the person who established these relationships, and that is God himself. When you buy a TV, when you buy any gadget, it comes with a manual. And so because God is the author of relationships and marriage, if we want to succeed, let us go to him and he will give us direction. Number two, be extremely cautious and careful as a young person when you enter into relationships that will lead into marriage. Why? Because many young people who are very promising have stumbled in relationships and hence in marriage. Young people who were very, very active, very promising, very enthusiastic, but when it came to the choice of a marriage partner, they made a mistake, and that mistake costed their life. So let us be very, very careful and be led by the Spirit of God and by the guidance and the counsels that we get from our seniors. Number three, before you die or before Jesus comes the second time, You will have to make three important choices in life. Number one, to accept or reject Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. Going to church does not mean you have accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. It is a relationship with God. Before Jesus comes or before you die, friends, you will publicly express the relationship that you have with Jesus Christ. Accepting or rejecting Jesus Christ as your personal Savior is the first and foremost decision that all of us will have to make, and you need to come out boldly, you need to come out openly, and declare if you belong to Jesus or otherwise. The second choice that you'll have to make before Jesus comes or before you die is the choice of a career. Some of the careers that we have chosen will make us not to go to heaven. So be very careful when you choose a career. Will that career be able to establish and strengthen your relationship with God, or it will draw you very far away from God? And as I said, some relationships, not some relationships, but some careers that we have chosen will drive us very far away from God instead of drawing us closer to God. Be very careful. You have chosen to be a policeman or a policewoman. You have chosen to be an accountant. You have chosen to be a mason. You have chosen to be whatever you have chosen to be. How will it enhance your relationship with God? Will it help you to see heaven, or it will take you straight to hell? Then the last choice that you will have to make is the choice of a marriage partner. The Bible says two are better than one. So all of us who are here and they have not made that choice and decision, be very certain that you will make that choice. And in the Bible, we do not have room for popes and sisters and mothers, especially in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. He who made them from the beginning made them two, male and female, woman and man. Two are better than one. Those of you who have been disappointed by looking at how marriages are faltered, please get it from me today that you must seriously begin looking for one whom you will stay with in marriage. It is God who said two are better than one. They have a good one. And then mipango, wacha kukaa ukisema mimi sasa I have been disappointed and naona hakuna marriage na wapi. Yours will work. Yes, you don't have to be disappointed by anybody's marriage. Then lastly, please, allow me to say this. He who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise person who built his house upon the rock. Three things came and beat this house: the winds, the storms, and the rains. They beat this house, but it did not fall because it was firmly established upon the rock. Another one also said, my friend has built a house. Many of our young people marry because their peers have gotten married. Tulikuwa na high school, tulikuwa na college, ameolewa, ameoa na mimi bado. Then you decide all of a sudden to say, now, I just want to see anybody in a trouser. As long as he's in a trouser, I'll get married to him. No, please. So this person decided to build his. And the same things that beat the first house are the same things that beat the second house. The rains, the floods, and the winds. They beat the second house and it fell, and greater was its fall. Friends, this evening, remember, it counts where you decided to build your relationship. Let us build our relationships that will lead to marriage on a solid rock, who is Jesus, rock of ages, blessed for me. Let us hide our relationships in Jesus Christ. Then last of last, accompanying what I've just said, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Everything acknowledge God, and He will direct your path. I like the last statement. Vijana wengi using their own creativity, using their own skills and such like things. My friend, Marriage is not yours. Trust in the Lord. When you enter into that business, please, the spirit of prophecy says, if you use it to pray twice, pray now 4 times. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. And in everything, acknowledge God, and He will direct your path. You can inherit houses and lands and many other things from your parents and from many other people. But you cannot inherit a good wife from your parents, from your friends. A good wife, a good husband comes from God. Let God direct your path. Marriage is good. Relationships are good if only you depend and trust on God and God alone. May God help us. This is not the end. This is just at the beginning. We'll be having a series of these lessons. But for today, please let us just stop there. And Felix, you can pick all the concerns that have been raised, including the questions. We may not now answer any question